Tanner, it's official. The NBA is back for the 2019-2020 season. We kind of covered what was going on last week. So obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, we will drop a card and you can check out those videos as well, both the shortened clip and the full length show from last week. But we're going to talk about what's going on. So of the two proposals they proposed last week, they accepted the 22-team proposal, which means 22 teams will go to Orlando, Florida, and play at the ESPN Worldwide Complex, and they will obviously play 8 regular season games, and then there'll be some playing games, and then it'll be time for playoff basketball, which they expect to end around October. Tanner, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Zach, as a fan of the NBA, I'm really excited about this. More in the sense of that they're not pushing too much for the regular season. I think they still have to do a couple games, at least I know in the Western Conference, and a couple teams in the Eastern Conference. They need to find out who are going to get those final spots. There are a couple teams that are for sure teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, the Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors, the Denver Nuggets, other teams like that. But then you've got a couple like the New Orleans Pelicans, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Brooklyn Nets. You got some teams who you're not really sure if they're going to make it. So that's what some of these games are for, to kind of help decide on who is going to get into the playoffs. And I like the date, and I also like the idea that it's all in one location. Orlando has kind of been the hotspot for the return of sports throughout this whole COVID process in terms of getting professional sports back on track. So I like that it's in Orlando. Disney World, with, as you said, ESPN World, a wide world of sports, has the capability to hold these with regulation-sized courts to kind of give a fair chance for all teams to compete. So I'm looking forward to see how this goes in terms of this process, and it'll be interesting to see how everyone goes. Some players have been working out a lot more than others are focusing on different aspects. We've seen guys, and one in particular is Trae Young. He has been really focusing on keeping his game, even though it looks like the Hawks will not make it in the postseason, but you can tell he is still itching to get back as soon as he can.
Well, Tanner, what I think is really great about this is they're allowing players to get back into it with the 8-game schedule. There's 22 teams showing up. There'll be extra basketball because they'll have some playing games to make the playoffs. So sort of like the baseball wild card that MLB does. And I think, I think it's there. I think we're all just happy they're getting back to basketball. I'm excited to watch some teams. I'm excited to see what they do. There's going to be some changes, like they talked about, no fans and possibly pumping in crowd noise from NBA 2K, which I think is really great. And I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes, what that means kind of for what we're going to see, what the TV experience is going to be like. Can I say we should just have Kevin Harlan and Gus Johnson do every game?
Absolutely. I would not be opposed to that. Absolutely. You know what? We're gonna go for it. We wanted Steph Curry and Michael Jordan to do another golf match with Tiger and Phil. I think we can do the same with this.
Yeah.
Zach, I also found this interesting that they actually have a schedule in terms of before the actual season starts. So June 15th, that any players who are outside of the U.S. Are going to return to their home market, so wherever they play for. Then on June 21st, all players are going to return. All players, so even within the U.S., will return to the home market. On June 22nd, the testing on players for COVID-19 will begin. Then the training camps actually begin around a month before the actual season resumes, so a perfect amount of time to get them back. Then on July 7th is when all the teams will actually go to Orlando, probably, to kind of get used to the courts, get used to the facilities. And then again, as you said, July 31st is when the actual season will resume. So I really like the balance in terms of they've considered, players who probably went back to their home countries, obviously those who still live in the United States. And then the testing, they said that it'll just be kind of light stuff. So like in terms of, the swabbing with the mouth and then like nasal swabs. So the idea is that they want to just be completely self-aware. If there's anyone who does have it, I'll be interested to see where that goes. But I like the schedule and kind of slowly working its way in and while also giving players time to get back to game speed.
Yeah, I think the NBA is doing it the right way. They're going to have a slow ramp up, and then they're going to play the games away from everyone else. That way, they can control players getting it or not getting it, and things like that. And I think that's really, really good way to do it. And I hope that it also breeds really good basketball because everyone's in close quarters, everyone's going to be playing, and I hope the games end up being really interesting. I mean, we haven't seen basketball since March, and we won't see it for another month here as we're in the first week of June. But I think I'm ready to watch. Yeah, I'm ready to watch basketball, and I'm ready to see what it's going to look like. The playoffs are probably going to be really fun because the lack of playing and the amount of rest that they've had for a while. Yeah, I don't. Any last thoughts, Tanner?
Again, I'm excited for how this is going to turn out. Interested to see how all the players, work together, and with the team aspect, as you said, the playoffs with kind of everyone having a kind of equal chance. Any players to go into rehab or to just take some time off or to stay and get in better shape. So, I'm like you. I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully soon we'll get a schedule to get all the games for when they come on.